In this video, I am going to show you how we can configure OSPF simple password authentication. So for this, we need to have some routers first. So I am taking 2911 series router. Uh, I am creating this topology from scratch so that you guys don't have to, you don't face any problem. So now we will have to add one serial cable WAN connection on each of these routers. Now we need to connect these cables. You can take any interface. I am just taking for this topology. So now let's configure the router. First router. IP address, I am taking this. Let's configure the other router. Now configure here the second IP address that will be subnetted. Here I will configure first the serial 0 by 0 port. Now configure this side. Here we have interface with 0 by 0 by 1. IP address will be 10.1.1.9. And on this side is S0 by 0 slash 1. Now I have not included here LAN, but I will give the loopback IP to every router. The advantage of giving a loopback IP is I will show you what are the advantages. Interface loopback 0. IP address is 1.1.1.1. Single pause. The first advantage is loopback IP is always uh, remains up. It is not like a physical interface, but it is a software created interface. So it will remain up until the router reboots or you shut down your router manually. Because port can be up or down, but loopback adapter will always remain up. And second is when uh, the router configure is its router ID, it will give preference to loopback IP. That can be shown here also. If you don't configure the process ID or router ID, it will take the highest IP address of the interface. IP OSPF. So when once I configure my OSPF, the router ID will be listed. So just wait for the configuration. Address will be 2.2.2.2. So now all the IP address has been configured. Now configure the OSPF. So to configure OSPF, we need some parameters. First of all, we will use this command router OSPF and a process ID. Process ID can be any from 1 to 65,535, and then we need to configure the network command and give the uh, whatever your network is 10.1.1.0, and you need to give the wildcard mask whatever it is. Wildcard mask calculation we subtract this from the broadcast IP, whatever your subnet is. So here we can see wildcard will be 0.0.0.3 for this 10.1.1.0 network. So now, if you can see, we have here three network. First 10.1.1.0 slash 30. Second is 10.1.1.4 slash 30. And the last one is 1.1.8 slash 30. So what we can do, we can create a summary route here. Not just we need to declare this IP one by one. We can use a summary route on every router. So if you have learned some route summarization, uh, otherwise you can watch my video on my CCNA playlist. So how it is done, we need to do the binary of 10 first. So 10 binary would be 128.0. 64, 32, and 16 would be 0. 8 would be 1, 4, 0, 1, 0. So binary of 1 is and 0 binary would be 0. Next, copy these bits. What you have to do is to find the 4. Again, copy this. Need to find the 8. So there is a symmetry here, as you can see. So the bits that are common, you need to change it to 1. And here the binary changes on the 4th bit, as you can see. So if you calculate it in binary, this would become 255, 255, 255 dot. What it will become? So you can see here 128 plus 64. You can calculate 28 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16. So this become 240. So we can create a summary root here of 10.1.1.0 0.0.0.15, because if you subtract 255 minus 240, this become 15. So this will be the summary root we are taking here, 10.1.1.0 on each and every route. OSPF 1 10.1.1.0 0.0.0.15, and then we need to specify the area. We don't have to give the different IP address, just to give the summary route. So in some moment, you will see all the neighbor will come up. Now see show IP OSPF. So router is ID is 1.1.1.1. That is a loopback IP address you have given to the router. So we haven't configured authentication, so it is listed as area has no authentication. Check the neighbor, show as OSPF neighbor command. So these are the two neighbors, and this is the IP address of the neighbors. And from show IP route, you can check from O. O means OSPF. On each and every router, you can check. So now it's time to configure the authentication. For authentication, we need to know the interface's name. authentication key. Just give it on every interface. Then OSPF 1. Just give this command area 0 authentication. So now what is in the output area is simple password authentication, and this password is not encrypted by default. Look at the output or POSP authentication key Cisco. So anyone can this password. So you can this command encrypt the password. The password is encrypted. But the neighborship will be down from all the routers because we have configured the authentication on first router. Like you can see OSPF neighbor, there will be no neighbor because both the OSPF routers have not configured the authentication. After the proper authentication, chip will come up. So, so now the neighborship is up. Is up. So in this way, you can configure the authentication, simple password authentication on OSPF routers. Thanks for watching.